I'm delusional. And I say that proudly. I'm delusional. Now, if I had said that to myself a few years ago, or 10 years ago, or as a kid, it probably would have upset me. But these days, I'm actually quite proud of that. As I said before in my videos, I'm neurodivergent. I'm dyslexic, I've got Asperger's, and I'm fairly sure that I've got a form of ADHD. I haven't been officially diagnosed with that, but I know it's there. Let's be honest. And if you're watching this and you've got any neurodivergent qualities as well, autism, Asperger's, ADHD, dyslexia, or anything else with a few sparkles, then chances are you're delusional in some ways as well. And I'm not saying that to put any of us down. I'm not saying it to put me down at all, certainly not you. Being delusional can actually be a really good thing, and I'll explain why as we go through the video. But when it comes to certain things in life, goals we have, aspirations we've got, when it comes to interests, business, whatever it might be, being delusional is actually quite a good quality. Sometimes confidence comes before competence. Now, let's take, for example, making a feature film. I can talk to you about that because I've done it. I've made videos before, I'd made short videos and short films, I'd made documentaries of say 30 minutes, 60 minutes, but I'd never made a feature film. I'd never written a feature film. I'd never coordinated all that. But there was something inside me that said to myself, no, I can do it. That's fine. How hard can it be? I've written a short script before. And it was a very long process. It was a very long process. It took me a long time to write and rewrite the script. It took me a long time to write the full first draft, to be honest. It took a long time to find the cast, to find all the locations, work out all the logistics, and do all the planning involved. If I'd known what was ahead of me, fully known what was ahead of me at the time, I may have backed out. I may have analysed the whole thing saying, well, I need to do this and this and that, and how am I going to do this, and how am I going to finance it, and how am I going to find this person and that resource. But I went in blindly. And I was a part of a film many, many years ago called Terminal Bliss. It was a full 90-minute feature film, and the writers wrote the script in 3 days, and we shot the entire film, a feature film, in 2 days, back to back. We filmed about 36 hours out of a 48-hour period. And a month later, they had it edited, and we screened it at a cinema in Melbourne, Australia. And that was to prove that you didn't have to spend months and years and huge budgets to make a fully blown feature film, to tell a really good human story, a story of substance. Now, yes, it was limited in its locations and a certain amount of cast and so forth, but the fact is it was done. Now, that writing team, the director, the cinematographer, they were delusional. But that was such a great thing, because if they weren't delusional, it never would have happened. They never would have proved to people you can do it. And because I'd been a part of that process when I did my feature film, which I wrote myself, directed myself, I acted in it, I edited it, it was mostly a bit of a one-man show. I had a good team of people behind me in certain areas, but the bulk of it was a one-man show. I kept saying to myself, well, I was a part of Terminal Bliss. If they can do it in 2 days, I can do it in a month. Now, it took us more than a month. It took obviously a long time to write the script and really perfect it. It took me a long time to find the locations. It took me a long time to get everything done. We shot the film over 6 months rather than 2 days. But once again, I had that sort of delusional confidence that I can do it. I've made videos before, I've made films before, I've written short things before, I can do it. So having the confidence to just make a start rather than hiding behind, oh, I can't, what about this, what about that, it was a good thing. Now, the link for that movie is in the description. Please go off and watch The Party Bus. I think you're going to really love it. It would not exist if I hadn't been delusional to think that I could do it. And the best thing is that now that I have done it, I know that I can do it again and again and again. And I plan to. The next point is, and I'll relate it to the movie, is if I'd have known how complicated and involved it was, I may not have actually started. If I had known how long it was going to take me to write the script, and edit the script so it was really, really good. Find the right actors, find the right locations, make the right connections, do all the different tests, find the best person for the sound design, find the best person for the visual effects. Go through the long-winded process of getting this whole thing together through all the ups and downs. If I had known all of that, Look, I still would have made the film because I had that passion to make the film. But I would have stalled for such a long time trying to get more people in and trying to do this and trying to do that, rather than just going off and doing it. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd write. I didn't take any writing courses. I'd never done a writing course before. No one told me that I couldn't do it. I just went ahead and did it. I was delusional enough to know that I could do it. And as I said, I'd written a few 3 or 4 page scripts before, but I never really studied dialogue or anything. I just went ahead and did it. I based the characters off people that I know or knew or had worked with, changed the names, bring the personality traits in. And as I wrote the lines thinking about that particular person. And it just all came together. So yeah, if I had known how involved the process was, I never would have done it. And I'm sure there's many things in your life that you've potentially done as well, or that you're maybe doing right now, where if you knew just how involved it was or is, you probably wouldn't start either. You had to be delusional to just jump in there and make a start. Now, a lot of people do that with things like YouTube, for example. They are delusional enough to go, I'm going to be a YouTuber, I'm going to be a content creator, and they just go for it. And the best ones that try it eventually succeed. I think if you just keep analyzing and analyzing and analyzing and thinking and planning and thinking and planning, all you're doing is stalling. You're just stalling. So yeah, I think if you know what's ahead of you, sometimes that can stall things. It really can. And that neatly ties into the third point here, is that overthinking tends to kill the opportunities. If you overthink anything in your life, it takes the impulses away, it takes the fun away. Now, certain things we need to think about for things like our safety, making sure that we're healthy, making sure that if we're crossing the road, for example, as your mum probably taught you, look left, look right, look left again, and then cross. You need to be spatially aware. But if we overthink everything in life, half the things that we know now and that we're used to in our lives would never have been done. The light bulb may not have been invented, or when it was, for example. There are so many things. The steam locomotive, the combustion chamber, the car, all these things that people said were crazy. The inventors, the people who patented them, the people who thought of the ideas, just went ahead and did it. They were delusional enough to just know that they could do it. They didn't overthink the process. They just tried again and again and again and again until eventually they succeeded. And as I said, if you look at YouTube, for example, there are so many people who have gone off and done that. I'm sure that a lot of them just went onto YouTube to say, well, I want to make videos and document my journey about photography or baking cakes or teaching people chartered accountancy or whatever it might be. And they succeeded, and they're now making more money than they ever thought they possibly could, just because they started. They didn't overanalyze everything. And actually, as a quick aside, if being a YouTuber, a content creator interests you, then I highly recommend to you a program called ExitNine. It's an amazing program run by Aaron Knightley. You can find him here on YouTube. It's helped me so much in my own journey, not just on this channel, but in other channels as well. And the best thing I love about it is the fact that you work with what they call the coach, which is the most intelligent AI software you're ever going to see in your life. It is more powerful than ChatGPT, Claude, or any of the others. And it gives you what none of the others give you: tough, hard love. The thing I love about it is it keeps me accountable. So for example, I'm filming this video today, and I'm doing it today because I've got a goal to launch this channel on a certain particular date. And it was the coach who said to me, well, when are you filming? How many videos are you filming? When are you going to edit them? When are you going to put it into short form? When is this going to be done? This must be done within the next 7 to 10 days. And I always needed something like that to keep me accountable. And this is the thing, being neurodivergent with the sparkles, and being delusional, there's been so many times where I've started things, but I've never seen them through, or I've very rarely seen them through. And with the party bus, for example, that was something that I did see through. It did get hard toward the end, but I saw it through. I always said I need somebody to just keep me accountable. I need a community around me. I need someone or something to really keep me accountable, to push me, because delusion only gets you so far. You need that support to take you over the finish line, because as you go after anything you want in your life, it does get hard. The universe tests you. Phase 1 is easy as such because you just decide to get into it and you make a start. Phase 2 is super easy because everything's swimming, but phase 3 is when things get really hard because the universe says, well, how badly do you want this? How badly do you want this? And it's phase 3 of anything that ExitNine is really helping me with. So if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel, for example, or just, if you're a business owner wanting to start a business and you're wanting to have that powerful community and that powerful accountability and to really track your progress, because anything that gets measured is always successful, or usually successful, then ExitNine is definitely for you. So you can use my code. It's over here on the screen. It's linked down below as well. Check out ExitNine. You're going to absolutely love it. The one thing about being delusional I've definitely learned is it can be a real superpower, but it can also be a weakness. The superpower is, of course, that you just, without thinking, just go straight into it. Oh, I've got this idea. Bang! Let's go. And you start working towards it, whatever it might be. That's the superpower. The people who haven't got the sparkles, the people who are very analytical, they haven't got that superpower because they're going to spend such a long time thinking and planning and doing risk assessments and everything else. They could waste months or years of time if all they had to do was make a start. So you have a strength there. It's a superpower. It's a superpower for me. Delusion. It's great. It can be a weakness though because it can lead to burnout. And that's one of the things we do need to be aware of. We can always just jump in straight away and just go, I can't find the words. We can just trailblaze the whole way. But it can burn us out. We can get to dead ends and it can become overwhelming. And for me especially, the overwhelm is where I really get burnt out. It's the mental overwhelm, where you start something, you put all that time and effort into it, and because you haven't done any sort of research as such, you hit a wall, you hit a major obstacle, and the overwhelm of the situation just hits you hard. It really can hit you hard. But this is where, as I said in other videos, the humor side comes into it. If you can learn to laugh at yourself, laugh at the stupidity of life, laugh at your own follies, laugh at the neurodivergency, it helps so much. When I was told I was neurodivergent with dyslexia and Asperger's and so forth, after a little while, I accepted it and I've embraced it so fully that I laugh about it and I tell people about it. Oh, I've got sparkles, I'm neurodivergent, I'm dyslexic, I've got Asperger's, I'm ADHD. And I accept it. So once you hit that burnout stage, that weakness of ours, take a break, take a breather. Don't go off and charge into another delusional idea because you'll just get burnt out even more. But look at it from a humorous point of view, look at it from a light-hearted point of view, and laugh about the whole thing. You might start a project that you'll never finish. I'm sure we've all done that. I've done that. I'm sure I'll do it again. I'm sure you'll do it again. Laugh at it. But at least you've had the balls. You've had the willingness to just do it. And it could be anything. Write a theatre play. Write a book. Try to plant 10,000 trees in the forest or whatever it might be. Whatever delusional idea you've got. The key element though is once you come into that overwhelm where the weakness sets in and everything feels too much and you're burnt out, don't walk away from it. Take a small break, refocus your energy into something else, and then come back to it. Because as I said, look, there's so many things that I've started in my life that I've never seen through. And I wouldn't say I've got major regrets in my life, but there are certain things that I wish I'd seen through. I mean, a classic example there is I love playing guitar. I've always loved guitar. The one thing I can't do though is play lead guitar. And that's because every single time I came to learning the scales and trying to get my finger dexterity and speed up to scratch, I'd always hit stumbling blocks and it would frustrate me and I'd put the guitar down. I got so overwhelmed, I put the guitar down and I'd walk away. And I'd come back to it a week later, play a whole bunch of chords, try to do lead again, get frustrated, put it away. I started learning how to play the guitar when I was 18. I'm now 44 and I still can't play lead guitar because I didn't have the strength to just persevere. I had the delusion that I could be an amazing lead guitarist, like Slash or Chris Cheney from The Living End, for example, but I didn't have everything else to take me through to where I wanted to be. And I do regret that. I would have loved to have been able to be amazing at guitar rather than just good at guitar. So yeah, be aware of that. And remember this, every achievement in life, whether it's you or anybody who's come before you or even after you, it's all about believing. And this is where the delusion sets in. Now, for example, if Thomas Edison hadn't seen a room illuminated by light and been delusional to think he could light a room, he never would have invented the light bulb. If George Stephenson hadn't been delusional to bring in different ideas when it came to steam locomotives, then he would never have built the rocket, and we wouldn't have had the most amazing steam locomotives in the world. If somebody, I'm not too sure who they were, but if the Americans weren't delusional to launch the space program, we would never have things like satellite images. And this is the thing with any form of goal setting. It's like if you believe it before you see it, then you've got a damn good chance of it happening. Now, one of the things I've learned in my life is that when we've got these delusional thoughts and these big dreams and goals, and we can believe it ourselves and we can see it in our own mind, the big thing I've learned is basically keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut about it. I think the saying goes, tell the world what you're doing, but show them first. Because if you say to somebody, oh, I'm going to build this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to make that, and you haven't done it, or you're not physically halfway through doing it, then you're going to get all the doubt comes in, all the haters, all the naysayers, all the people putting you down. And that's what can usually lead to more burnout and overwhelm and things not happening. So, delusion's great. It forms the belief, and it's the belief that helps us to move things forward. And I truly believe that the best creators in the world, musicians, architects, poets, painters, inventors, anything, they've all had the sparkles. I reckon they've all been neurodivergent in their own ways. And we need to thank them so much for being delusional to bring something from here into the world. You can do exactly the same thing. So the goal here is to not stop being optimistic about what we want to achieve. It's to combine optimism with experience, whether we've got the experience or whether we're learning it as we go along. Keep the willingness to try things, but break them down into small, manageable bits as you go along. As we wrap this video up, once again, I'll talk about the party bus. When I made that movie, if I focused on the end goal with everything I had to do, I was feeling very overwhelmed. Burnout was so easy to set in. But I said to myself, right, well, today I'm going to write this scene. And then today we're going to film that scene. I need these actors and I need this location. If you break it down little bit by little bit by little bit, it gets done. And the more you do it, the more experience you get, the more optimistic you get, and the more delusional you become, because once you've achieved one thing, you go, well, if I've done that, I can do this now. So I've already got other feature films that I've written, I've got short films that I've written, and I'm delusional enough now to go ahead and make them. I need to find the money. I don't know how I'm going to do that completely, but I'm delusional enough to know that it's going to happen somehow. So if you're delusional, if you've ever thought that, oh, I'm just too impulsive and my head's too high in the sky, think again. You could be one of the most important people in the world. You could be one of the best creators, the best inventors, the best. You could bring something to the world that no one's ever seen before. You can bring something to the world that people need right now to help them through their life or help them through their job. You could be the next person to inspire somebody to do something else and follow in your footsteps, or create their own, path and have people follow them. So if you've ever put yourself down for being neurodivergent, have any of the sparkles, if you've ever thought that you're delusional and, who was I to think I could do this, celebrate it. Look in the mirror, tell yourself, yeah, I'm delusional and I love it. I absolutely love it. And never stop believing that you can't do anything. Be delusional, go out there and create, do as much as you can, and never tell yourself that you can't. Never let anybody else tell yourself that you can't either, because you can. I know you can. I'm doing it now, I've done it before, and I'm going to do it again. Do me a favor, please subscribe to the channel and comment below. Do you consider yourself delusional? Has anyone ever told you that you're delusional? Or do you think that you're not delusional at all? Are you very analytical? Or are you very impulsive? Are there things that you've achieved in your life because you just went after them and did them and look back and gone, wow, how on earth did I do that? I had no idea what I was doing. Or are you somebody who stops yourself from taking that chance because of the fear, because of the, I haven't planned everything out just yet? Whatever it might be, leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you and build up this wonderful supportive community here on YouTube. In the meantime, I've been Jonathan. Thank you so much for watching Identity Crisis, and I'll see you next time.